Once everyone else is left, he closes the class door and locks it. So, care to explain? Explain, sir? He opens the door in the back and signals Olivia to come on out. The mud, the drenched clothes, the declaration of sanctuary. I was having a bad day. She's looking a bit better, still drained, but she's not shivering. Her rat sits on her lap and Iadakan extends a finger down to scratch under its chin. I can see that. He takes a seat against a nearby desk and waves a hand for Olivia to go on. When she doesn't, he shifts his hand to me. I look between the two of them. Mr. Iadakan's expectant leer and Olivia's pleading eyes. Ultimately, I shake my head in the negative. I just helped Olivia get out of the rain. Of course. He slouches further atop the desk. Can I tell you some other time? Sure. Whatever it was, it looks like you've recovered pretty well. Olivia doesn't answer verbally, instead giving him a bashful smile and a nod. Was it about your work again? Yeah. Oh, this girl. He turns to me and points a thumb at her. You know, the work she's so concerned about absolutely wrecks the grading curve in my class. For the sake of the other students, I had to put a limit on extra credit assignments. Really? Yeah. Never before would I even consider such a restraint. Why punish someone for working too hard, I would think to myself. Then, 4 years ago, this little green goblin comes rolling into my class. Half a semester and more than a few angry calls from parents later, my hands were tied. Young lady simply does too dang much. Olivia smiles, but doesn't look up from her pet. It was that much better than all the other students? Well, no, I don't grade by technique. If I did, you'd be in big trouble, Inko. Olivia's work was very good even then, but the main thing I admire is how motivated she can be. I haven't seen someone so enthused to just paint in years. Certainly haven't seen anyone so enthused I had to change the rules like that. You were worried it'd stop me. Was I? That definitely sounds like me, but it didn't stop you, not even a little. Heck, that year you even got me to see some things differently. I don't think I ever did anything like that. You did when you came in after class the Friday before Mother's Day. Take a look at this. I'm handed the quilt pen, and the first thing I note about it is how soft the feather portion is. It's the special pen you always use. It's actually from my wife. Whoa. Inspecting it closer, I can now see more of the intricate details. From the faded engravings on the shank to the maintained but worn point. It's well made and kept, and yet the feather and brass showed its age. She came in that afternoon with a whole stack of crumpled painting drafts, so frustrated she couldn't get it right, and so determined to make it perfect. I say, any one of these would be great. Your aunt would love any of these, and she fires back. If it's not good enough for me, why would it be good enough for someone I love? I did not have an answer. So I tell her to take a step back. We take a few hours to go over the fundamentals once more. I send her home to try getting it right over the weekend. And, come Monday, she returns and hugs me first thing. That Friday night, though, what she'd said was on my mind. I talked about it all night with my wife. Then that morning, I decided to make a change for myself. My wife was molting at the time, so there was always a new feather or three in our blankets each morning. I took the biggest one, preserved it right, got a bit of help to make it a real pen. And I've used it ever since. It helps me remember to do my job right, for the people I care about, and for the people my students care about. I think what it was, it's that childlike reasoning that comes so naturally for the youth. That reasoning, it makes a type of innocent, earnest dedication, something I think I'd lost for a while. Don't give me so much credit. You haven't lost it, have you? Good. Don't lose it for me, okay? Okay. Iadakan yawns and stretches. You feel alright to go to your next class? Yes, I'm ready. Great. He claps a hand over my back. We should do this again sometime. Mr. Iadakan ushers us out of his classroom as the late bell trills, handing us a note he'd rapidly scrawled on. Ms. Brockling didn't seem enthused to see us come in late, but sighed as she read the note from Iadakan. As I took my usual spot, I felt something odd in the corner of my eye. Looking up, it was to see Olivia looking my way, with that smile on her face. One that spoke so many words, yet I couldn't figure out what. All I could do in turn was try to match it, before focusing on Miss Brockling's latest lecture. As more time passes, the art contest fades into the background. Last week, I had a scare when Principal Scaler called me into her office. I feared that they'd figured out what Olivia did and assumed I was part of it, just as she predicted. Luckily, that wasn't the case. Instead, she wanted to inform me that they had no leads as to who could have done the swap, and since it was tampered, it'd be removed from the contest. No skin off my back, honestly. As compensation, she gave me one of the runner-up prizes, a coupon for some pizza from some Italian restaurant called Dynamo's. Not the biggest pizza fan, but not a bad prize to get after all this. Saving it for a rainy day. However, I found myself in a conundrum of my own doing. My peers' concerns about my entry were resolved. But I hadn't accounted for the new questions about my portfolio. My paint portfolio. The few times I showed off my photography work, they'd be mildly impressed at best. They were never upfront about it either. Instead I got the runaround.
Oh, yeah, these are nice, Inko. Not bad, but, what about what you did for the contest?
I can't even be mad about it, since it's just another misunderstanding, unintended lie, from my side of things. But then I had a thought. What if it wasn't a lie? What if I was actually good at painting? And after working at it for the past month? Yeah, no, I can't unscrew this. For the past 3 weeks, I've been staying after school, making use of one of the club rooms to practice. Eesh. Inko, did you listen to any of the tips I gave you? Using everything I had at my disposal, namely the textbooks from Mr. Iadakan and how-to tutorials online, I'd stay as late as possible trying to get to the same skill level as Olivia. And as I stare at the horrid acrylic monstrosity before me, I can do nothing but weep at my own inadequacies. Not actually weep, but squinting at the Lovecraftian horror before me, I can maybe see a little progress drowning in the madness of the excess paint. Olivia had made good on her promise to teach me around the time I asked Mr. Iadakan to borrow the keys to the spare room. And while I memorized all of her teachings down to the letter... What am I even looking at? Are you drawing an abstract sort of thing here? It was actually an attempt at a self-portrait. Could probably post it online and some rich asshole would buy it. Is that good? No, never trust the opinions of people on the internet. I learned that the hard way. After a brief period of awkward silence, I let myself collapse on the stool behind me and toss off the oily apron in frustration. At this rate, I'm gonna be a double fraud or something. I don't even have the energy to get angry. Probably looks better now, at least. How did Olivia get so good at this? Olivia, please, you've got to have some actual advice for me. She quietly hums to herself, slipping away a notebook she'd had splayed across her lap in her nearby bag. Well, when I want to draw, it's usually because I've got something on my mind. Like what, inspiration? Kinda. More so that I just envision something and I want to put that on canvas. Amused then? The door of the studio flies open and Damien quickly storms inside. Inko! Olivia! Are you guys here? He takes heavy breaths as his vision darts around the room. After a moment of surprise, I raise my arm to catch his attention. Damien, what's wrong? The hyperactive Dilophosaurus spots me, taking a final breath before jogging over. Guys, I need to ask you something. What? Is everything all right? Is something happening? I can't help but panic. I've never seen Damien this flustered. Do you want to come to the arcade with me and Liz? Is that it? Yeah, that's what I said. Wait, when was this decided? I thought something bad had happened. Nope, just asking. Liz already has the car prepped and everything. Oh, I probably should have expected that, but still. How did you know we were here? I didn't. I just kept opening doors till I found you two. I've been at it for a while, actually. Damien's eyes dart to the canvas that lies on the floor next to me. You working on your next masterpiece? Ooh, painting sideways is probably one of your trade secrets, huh? Olivia hides her snicker with her hand. Don't worry, I won't tell a soul. Yeah, that's right. Don't tell anybody. I lean down to pick up the canvas and place it upright, deciding to remove the ugly painting and place it in the corner of the room to dry. Anyway, how about it? To the arcade? The olive baryonyx fidgets, her brow lowered in contemplation as she considers the question. The arcade? It's not like I had any other plans today. Sure, why not? All right, let's go. Wait, don't just... Inko, Olivia, there you are. Damien was taking so long to get you, I was about to come find you myself. This time both Damien and I are wheezing for air. Despite Olivia's protests and hesitation, Damien had wasted no time in grabbing her by the handlebars and sprinting for the exit. I had chased after them, all the while Olivia screamed like a banshee as she was pushed through the hallway at a breakneck pace. Yeah, I take a deep breath and stand upright. Olivia's claws have dug into her armrest, and she's definitely trying to kill Damien with her glare, which he happily ignores. Why didn't you just message me or something? I wanted to, but didn't want to ruin your concentration, man. So instead you kicked the art room door open? Yep. Liz had the good grace to look embarrassed on Damien's behalf. But yeah, gave you a little bit of extra time, right? You've been staying late forever now. I can't hide the wince. It hadn't occurred to me that more people would notice. Ah, relax. Not like you're the only one. Yeah, I sometimes need to stay behind for student council and club meetings. Right, sure. So, come on, the car's in the student section. The Dino duo start toward the student parking lot, heading towards a rather old but well-kept sedan. Olivia grumbles silently to herself, but follows after nonetheless. Come on, dude. It'll take a few minutes to get Olivia in, and then like 30 to get to the arcade. It won't take that long, damn it. Olivia huffs and wheels herself to the passenger side, opening the door for herself. Do you need any... It's fine. To punctuate her statement, Olivia uses her strong arms to lift herself off her armrest. Then, with more grace than I had thought possible from the olive-scaled girl, she manages to flop down into the passenger seat. I stare at the abandoned chair, wondering where to put it. I've got room in the trunk, Inko. The trunk lid pops up with a heavy thunk to punctuate that. It takes me more time than I'd like to admit to figure out how to undo the locks to actually collapse the chair, but once it's done, I'm able to slide it into the spacious storage area easily. Damien had already hopped through the window of the front passenger seat by the time I'm done, as if he practiced the maneuver. Clack, 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 clack. Oh, hold on. I simply open the door behind Liz's seat and watch as a pile of soda cans empty onto the pavement below. Sorry, those are from this morning. I just toss them into the back seat when I'm done. Surprised Liz doesn't make you use a bag. I do. Damien pulls up an overflowing plastic bag, as if it were a trophy. Why haven't you tossed all those bottles out already? I'm saving them for a project about recycling. Plus, I'm also going to use a couple of them for a sculpture. Saves me the trouble of going out and finding aluminum. And I get to drink as much soda as I want. I don't really say anything as Damien scoops out the rest of the cans from the floor of the car and puts them in a new bag, which he then stuffs in the car's trunk before giving me and Olivia a thumbs up. Aight, dudes, we're good to go. I nod and slink into the semi-clean seat. My hand searches for the buckle of the seatbelt and brushes against something warm and soft. There's a tiny gasp next to me, and the comfortable mystery in my hand is yanked away. Huh? I look to Olivia, her hand held to her chest. Her green face has a scarlet tinge, and her mirror-shade eyes glare holes through my head. You okay? The emerald-scaled girl turns her maw from me. I stifle a mystery chuckle at that. The warmth of my palm fades, however, and leaves my hand feeling lost. Okay, all the safety checks are done. Liz gets in the driver's seat and grips the steering wheel. Outside, she's craning her neck to check on the mirrors and tires. Wait, Liz drives with her head sticking out the window? Liz pokes her head in. What's that? Her neck snakes inside and coils around the hook in the middle of the car. Then, with the practice motion, her neck continually coils till her head sits atop the neck roll, as if no different from someone putting on shoes. It kinda looks like a giant scale-covered scarf. There's even still enough space for her to see the windows and check behind her. Inko? Wasn't important. Alright. But, the city, right? I'd actually been wanting to see a bit more up close for Iadakan's class. Do you know how much gas money you'd burn through to take a detour around here? Good, cause neither do I. Let's do it. Hey, what? No. I barely have enough as is. The view on the way is fine. I'm looking forward to it as well. You sure? Yeah, I'll point out some stuff I remember along the way. You're my tour guide now? Don't make me change my mind. Glad that's settled. Everyone buckled in, right? Liz pulls away from the school parking lot, starting down the opposite direction I've always entered and exited. Weird to think, but the edge of my world was as close as a right turn out of my own school. Then again, I still haven't been living here long. Anybody want a station? I don't think I ever listened to the radio here either. Liz and Olivia hardly seem to glance in Damien's direction as well. Suit yourselves! Within the span of a few seconds, the natural ambiance of the road is replaced with the sound of decades-old rock music, sending vibrations throughout the car and everybody in it. Just as fast as it comes, however, it stops as Liz haphazardly yanks the volume knob counterclockwise, turning the music down to a bearable level. Damien frowns for a moment, but he doesn't seem to contest her decision. What the? I turned off all the notification stuff, except for messages and calls, and between all the people I messaged, there's only one who isn't inside the car. Checking the screen, I see... Any song request, man? Seriously? I don't know, Damien, so long as it isn't twangy country music. Sure. Wait, you've been texting? How long? Yeah, since like the first week of school. What the heck, dude? Let me see your phone. I hand it over, open on the contact creation page. She taps the first few numbers and pauses. Then sheepishly yanks her phone from her coat pocket. She doesn't know her own number? Olivia finishes tapping her numbers in and hands it back. She's entered herself as Live Long. Huh, sounds vaguely oriental. Test. Yep, got it. Hell yeah. That was uncalled for. That's why I sent it. She giggles at her own joke, and despite being the butt of it, the mood in the car is too high to hold it against her. Before long, the dense forestry starts giving way to more urban developments. More and more decorative palm trees start dotting the paths as well. The silhouette of the city gets closer, and we approach one of those spaghetti junctions leading up to it. The result of decades of poor infrastructure decisions, multi-million-dollar projects promising to fix all the traffic if they just built one more overpass. Olivia's paying close attention to her phone. She scrolls lazily through some forum. What's so funny? Oh, nothing. Hey, Lizard Lounge? Oh boy, you're still browsing that, Olivia? Yeah? What is it? Don't tell him! It's this weird, exclusionary chat room. They only allow dinosaur women. Men, and rather specifically human men, are banned. Racial segregation? Olivia showed me once. The people on it are really weird. Humans are banned? You weren't supposed to tell him. It's the last safe house for us on the internet. I think there's probably better places for that online for you to associate with. Tell me about the racial segregation. It's not that. It's just how it has to be for our safety. Some dino girl can be doing anything at all, and there's always at least 3 guys in the comments saying, she looks like... Don't say it. They also really bring down the quality of the site. Look, it's explained in the rules that humans have 1/5 the attention span of dinos. Liz groans while Olivia shows me her phone. The graph is blurred to hell, and I can't make most of the text out. I don't know how I feel about all this. What's not to get, Inko? Think about it. You're in history class. It sucks, so you just remember, wait a second, I'm a human, and stop listening. I wish I could do that. According to Lady Hitler here, you can. It's just a funny group of women like me. Lay off. Let me have it. You don't really believe that stuff, though, do you? Not really. It's just the rules of the place, alright? Okay. Olivia sticks the phone back in her pocket with a huff. Was the ride to the arcade always this long? I think we're about 20 minutes away from the arcade still. Don't worry, Inko. The water fountains are integrated. Shut up. Damien cackles to himself. Alright, I hope the place still sells those hot dogs for just $1. There's no way anyone anywhere sells hot dogs for $1 anymore. Yeah, but they did. It was great. Olivia and I would save our lunch money to just go here instead after class. I don't think I'd trust it if it were still that cheap, honestly. You ate a dog off the floor once. That's different. Damien fills the air with old tales of his and Olivia's adventures in the arcade. She'd occasionally chime in to correct him on whatever over-embellishment. Even as the last remnants of suburbia melt away and skyscrapers overtake our view of the outside world. Finally, I'm in the big city. Here we are! I'm almost disappointed when we pull into the arcade parking lot. Large glass windows covered in sun-bleached promotional leaflets adorn the front of the arcade, and the building itself looks a couple decades old. This place was probably successful in the past, but I can only imagine they break even nowadays. Though maybe the recent resurgence of retro deco could change that. I can show you more on the return trip. Come on. Guess she must have seen my brief hesitance. Liz unlocks the trunk, and I hop out to get Olivia's chair. As I attempt to heave the thing out of Liz's trunk, it takes considerably more effort than I'd like to admit. Now, how do I unfold this blasted thing? I think there's a release button, right? As I check to make sure that all my fingers were intact, I see Olivia snickering through the passenger window. Inko-san, you have much to learn. Observe. Olivia makes sure the brakes are held and heaves herself over in one motion. The chair is forced open by momentum alone with a loud crack. She gracefully rolls by me, tongue stuck out in smug victory over my ineptitude. Ready? Sweet. Damien hurries us inside, and I can tell he's the most excited to be here out of anybody. Dude, this place is the bomb! We used this grounds for change to come here after school. The place is abuzz with activity, flashing machines all competing for attention and gamers excitedly conversing. I lean a bit closer to Olivia. It's pretty dang loud here. You gonna be alright having to speak up more? Of course I am. What do you take me for, a kid? Sorry. I appreciate the concern. Liz scowls as she peels her boot from the floor with a loud ugh. Damien, you could have... Damien's taken off toward a nearby coin machine, fistfuls of bills at the ready. I could have told you to. I've been here before. So why didn't you warn me about the stickiness? Olivia shrugs. Liz's head lowers to bridge of snoot pinching levels. Well, you two did kind of drop this on me at the last minute. But I still remember this place pretty well. Great, you can show Inko around and I'll go with Damien. Liz meekly puts her pointing fingers together as she looks at the salmon-frilled teen. Those 2-player gun thingies look fun to try out. You mean the light gun games? Yeah, those ones. I can't put my finger on it, but something tells me that Liz was banking on splitting apart from the start. though it would give me ample opportunity to have some alone time with Olivia. Just to get to know her more, of course. Liz, I think I broke this one's joystick. Liz sighs heavily through her nose. Seriously, Damien? Oh, come on. It's perfectly even and fair. You sure about this, Liz? We could all just stick together. The long-necked dino looks around the arcade nervously. As much as I want to protest the suggestion, it might be for the best. Liz wants to stick with Damien, probably to make sure he doesn't do more damage. And Olivia knows this place well, so she'd know all the best games. We've already been spending time together after school, so why not? I'm not against the idea, just, Alright, glad you agree. Liz takes this as her cue to leave, and she quickly pulls Damien away deep into the arcade. Meanwhile, Olivia begins to roll ahead, but stops and gives me an annoyed look. Come on already. Yeah, right. As soon as I step closer, Olivia resumes her casual roll down the alleyway. Olivia's eyes seem distant as she looks over the various game cabinets in the room. Silver irises dancing to and fro, a soft hum resonating from her mouth. I try and follow where her gaze lingers, but she seems to constantly drift to something with every other moment while deep in her own thoughts. And as we carry on slowly, the creeping awkwardness in my stomach gnaws away at me. I've no clue what to do right now. The point of this excursion was to relax. It feels rude to interrupt her, but she definitely knows better than me. Say, Olivia? My voice brings her back to the current moment with a start, her hands maneuvering her chair around to look at me fully. What game should we try first? The Baryonyx shrugs her shoulders. Anything. Okay, then how about one of your favorites? My favorites? Yeah, you used to come here all the time. I'm sure you've got some you prefer. The look of surprise from her is quickly hidden by her turning her chair back around. Fine, my favorites then. My favorites. She pushes her wheelchair with purpose towards a particularly large screen in the corner. Looking at it closer, there's a large block connected to it, and dull, multicolored sticks hanging off the sides with wires. Oh, damn it. I look up at the title above the screen. Ruin Robbers? The more I look at it, the more I see where splotches of fresh paint barely cover poorly done marker graffiti. Olivia's pout is so prominent as she glares at the base of the funny-looking block before the screen. They updated it. So it should be better then, right? Her pout breaks, transforming into a depressed frown as her eyes seem to gloss over. I follow her gaze to the metal plate at the base and try and better understand. The machine looks pretty well maintained, if you ask me. Something wrong with it? They added a foot pedal for the cover action. I test the plate, feeling it sink down and noticing the video demo on screen changes to a screen with a bunch of ass with numbers next to each other. This sucks. Olivia's hand curls into fist as she glares at the machine. A twinge runs through my chest when I look back to the frustrated dino girl. One aspect of her favorite pastimes has changed in a way that almost robs her of it. The thought strikes a painful chord in my heart, though I know I had zero hand in the game update. All the same, to see the clover-scaled girl look so morose. I turn my eyes away to my feet, the sensation leaving as I do, and a flash of brilliance overcomes me as I look at my loafers. Hey, I got an idea. She cuts me off with a growl. I know what you're gonna say, and the answer is no. So you're willing to just give up because you can't play it easily? Yes. Olivia's response leaves me a bit floored. Her hateful eyes leer venomously at her former favorite game, but I know my idea will work. Okay, you play then. Haven't you been paying attention? I'll handle the pedal work. Olivia's words are left hanging as she tries to visualize what I'm saying. Her confused gaze wanders between me and the flat rectangle on the floor. The whole time she looks so goofy, I have to withhold a chuckle in fear of her clawing me. She must have realized, though, as she snatches the light gun from my hand, her cheeks bearing a red hue. Fine. One game. She looks at the light gun in her hand and takes a deep breath. You better do your job right, Inko. I give Olivia a nod, and she wheels herself right next to the arcade machine. Gimme. She reaches out for my hand and goes to take it before I can respond. She takes it for a split second, then moves down to grab my wrist instead. Her scales are soft and cool. Hit the pedal when I squeeze, capiche? I nod in affirmation, and Olivia blasts the start button into pieces. Not so tight. Dude, hit the damn pedal. It's like playing with controller lag. Inko! Sorry. Holy crap, this is worse than I remember. Hi, it's me. I'm the guy that makes sense. Here you can see where I put the respawning enemies in front of a place you're forced to cross. I came up with this idea while eating a bird. I don't even want to staple my ears to my... Fucking damn it, not again! Whew. This game sucks. Want to play again? She's a bit intense. When Olivia finally releases her grip on my wrist, I feel the blood rushing through the imprint she left. We ended up playing 4 or 5 games total. That's probably enough. I'm good to move on. You? Are you sure? I don't want to keep you here all day. Olivia looks over the machine one last time before sliding the plastic gun back in its slot. I'm still a bit disappointed they changed it, but... Thanks. Alright, there's better games around anyway. Let's go. A stray thought from before I really got to know Olivia careens to the forefront of my mind. Sometime along the way, people started calling her Hot Wheels. Don't remember really who or when. But I do know it's proof she's got that fire in her. A fire in her. Before she can roll away too far, my hand takes hold of one of her chair's grips, jolting the dino girl from her sullen stupor. Say, I've got an idea, Hot Wheels. Why don't we try the fighting game you're so good at? The fighting game? Olivia's jaw clicks shut and her hands ring together tightly. Arcade cabinets can't change, right? I mean... Her gaze turned towards the opposite end of the arcade, and I can hear the loud hollers of competition from here. Come on, Hot Wheels, what do you say? The name seems to invigorate her, her glacier irises hardening and her ivory claws touching at her wheels. An eerie grin creeps across her features, tongue polishing an incisor as her predatory eyes latch onto a particular cabinet on the far side. Olivia picks a direction and speeds off, parting the sea of sweaty dinos and leaving a small space of safety in her wake. After a short while, passing some digital pachinko machines, she looks back at me for a moment as if to confirm my presence and to say, don't lose me. And then yanks her wheelchair to launch herself through the building towards a new destination. What? Hey!